First things first story of the day in Cringe. There was a hate crime that just happened, and we actually have a clip of it.
And this is being investigated. The reason we say hate crime is the police are investigating this as a potential hate crime. So that's why we say it.
In America, you can learn it. Learn English. Learn it. You get money in America. This is if you get money in America, learn English. I don't give a fuck. Learn it. Learn it. You ride on the roads, learn English, motherfucker. Talk about that shit, learn English. Learn English. Learn English. Learn English. This ain't your fucking country. This ain't your fucking country. Learn English. Learn English. This ain't your fucking country.
All right. It goes on like that for a little while longer, and he just yells at him a couple times, right?
So the censors are at it again, and of course it's the ADL, which is the American Defamation League, right, or Anti-Defamation League. And so basically they're ironically named because what they do is they defame anybody who tells the truth about Israel. They defame them and call them an anti-Semite. So the Anti-Defamation League is actually the Pro-Defamation League, and they're like the boy who cried wolf, and they've wrecked the word. The term anti-Semitism is more burned out than Gary Busey at Burning Man. Okay. And here's it is. AIPAC funded reps. So Josh, a Democrat from New Jersey, he's an AIPAC tool, and Don Bacon, a Republican from New England or Nebraska, introduced ADL-backed Stop the Hate. That's what it's called. Stop the Hate Act. And if anybody knows AIPAC, their hatred of hatred is world renowned.
Yeah.
In fact, they'll start World War III to stop hatred.
Yeah.
They'll assassinate hateful people with impunity and take out their entire family just to play it safe. That's how much they hate.
They'll kill their kids to stop hate.
And so every day social media company, they're going to pass this bill, Stop Hate Act, to censor the internet and suppress anti-Semitism. Every day social media companies fail to comply with their demands will result in a $5 million fine. So this is a $5 million fine to a media company that doesn't follow the rules set by AIPAC.
What are those rules?
I'm not saying that this is going to backfire epically, but I would not want to be the people who made this legislation for the foreseeable future. Here it is. You want to hear him?
Yes. Bipartisan legislation will require social media companies to release detailed public reports of violations of their terms of service and to outline how they're addressing these violations, which includes the use of their platforms by terrorist groups. Every day, companies fail to...
The use of their platforms by terrorist groups. Isn't the IDF a terrorist group? Aren't they committing a genocide right now? Is that not terrorism? What? So terrorist groups is and also AKA people we don't like.
Al-Qaeda's okay though, right?
Al-Qaeda, right?
Yeah.
The head of Al-Qaeda in Syria is now the head of Syria, and Trump loves him. So he got taken off that terrorism list. You know who they put on that terrorism list? The rapporteur for Israel from the UN, the woman who told you the truth about the genocide and the starvation that's happening. She's now a terrorist, but the head of Al-Qaeda is not a terrorist. Let that sink in for a while. And so now this is the ADL, this is AIPAC, this is your Israeli overlords gonna fine your media companies $5 million for not censoring you.
And the irony of having a guy named Bacon in on it.
report this information, it will result in a $5 million fine. Social media companies can no longer hide the crimes that take place on their platforms, especially when they pose a threat to America's national security. And we're very proud this bill has the backing of the Anti-Defamation League.
I saw anti-Semitism for the first time when I was 15 years old. I had good parents who taught me it was wrong, but it left a lasting impression on seeing my first incident.
So his parents taught him anti-Semitism is wrong, just not genocide. Isn't that weird? That's weird.
They also didn't tell him what it means.
I guess they couldn't.
It includes Arabs, by the way. The word includes Arabs. I can't believe it's used the way it's used.
As a teenager, and if you're on my social media, you see it every day from people that are responding back with what I consider clearly anti-Semitic kind of messages on social media. I even saw a article today, it was about me, but talking about we had to oppose congressmen who are pro-Zionists, right? And you're like, in other words, it's all over our social media, and it's unacceptable.
And you know, people having thoughts that we don't like is unacceptable. That's what he's saying. You're not allowed to hate stuff. You're not allowed to hate Zionism or Israel or genocide or any of that stuff, or their control of our government. You're not allowed to hate that. That's called hate speech.
When the Jews that aren't happy with Zionism, I'm waiting to see how they handle that. I guess they'll be thrown in the lot with the terrorists.
And let's a little more.
And when I saw the protests out here the last 2 days, they were vile, right?
The protests were vile. Yeah, guess what? That's called freedom of speech. That's the whole point of freedom of speech, and includes speech that is vile. That's the beauty of America. And if you don't like that we have freedom of speech here, you should go to North Korea or go to Saudi Arabia. Go someplace else that doesn't have freedom of speech. Get the hell out of my country. It's like, oh yeah, I'm all for freedom of speech until you say something I don't like. Then I'm not so much. Then not so much.
I think Saudi Arabia lets you tweet about Zionism, though.
I bet they would.
You can see the anti-Semitism in their comments and how they were treating some of our members of Congress who are Jewish. I saw that firsthand. It's unacceptable. And so we want to be in a country that makes clear that...
You know what's unacceptable? Censorship of people's hatred. People get to hate shit. And if you don't like what they're saying, don't listen.
Aren't you already spending their taxes on Israel, whether they like it or not?
Yes.
So for my money, I don't get to say whatever I want. That's interesting.
That's just weird that you're not allowed. So any protest, by the way, of Israel is anti-Semitic. And why are people... I'm not anti-Semitic. I have lots of... All the Jews I know pretty much I like. I'm not anti them because if I'm anti someone, it's not because they're Jewish. I'm anti them because of their supporting a genocide.
Well,
that would be why.
Because they're Jewish. If you don't like because they're Jewish, it's very similar to saying it's okay to kill kids because they're Arab. It doesn't work like that. They purposely conflate Zionism, and they had what was that resolution they had in Congress to say it's the same thing. The reason they had that is so this idiot, this Nebraska dipshit closet case can stand here and go, somebody said, I don't like he gives no examples of any anti-Semitism except someone against Zionism, which is not Judaism.
And I think you're allowed to hate stuff. You're allowed to be a vile person.
Especially on Twitter.
I think you should be, you should be, this whole anti-hate speech stuff is just anti-speech. This is it's the speech you hate that needs protecting. It's not the speech you like. So if you hate speech, too bad. You have to live with it. That's how I feel. And someone gets to be an anti-Semite. You get to be whatever you want. You don't get to. I don't want the government fining me for thoughts, because that's all that is thought crimes.
You think this will pass? It's pretty egregiously against the First Amendment. I mean, like, how would they get it passed all the way through?
What I don't know if you can tell in this video, these guys are scared because social media is over the target and the recipients have lost all grace and intelligence and are now just acting like animals barking at anything that moves now. That's what this is, because they know social media they can control the corporate media. They can control Wolf Blitzer and Chris Hayes and all of them. They can control Sean Hannity, Rachel Maddow, Anderson Cooper. They're all controlled. Chris Cuomo, they're all controlled, but they can't control social media. And that's what this is about. This is about just what you said before, Kurt, when Hillary Clinton said, we've got to start censoring or we're going to lose complete control. And that's what this is. That's what this is. This is the fear. These guys are afraid, and they're acting at the behest of their AIPAC donors. This is Israel panicking. This is the Zionists panicking.
And look at this creep, by the way, Bacon, with his dumb story. Nebraska, did you say? Home of the Franklin scandal? Well, that's telling.
And you still screaming about anti-Semitism and defending Zionism makes you look like a piece of it to the world, because you are.
Yeah. Hey, how about the Epstein files? Is that hate to bring that up? You guy from the Nebraska Franklin scandal state?
Here's what Glenn
Scumbag.
Greenwald says. He says, there was a full consensus on the right for the last decade that big tech censorship was a great evil, especially if pressured and demanded by the U.S. government. That was a tenet of the right. All that changed when it came time to censor for Israel. We're very proud the bill has the backing of the ADL. That's what they're saying. So these people who, for the last decade, they were all against the worst thing in the world was censorship online, especially if it was pressured to be censored by the government. And now they're proud of it. So whatever. So again, most of the MAGA people that I come in contact with are not on board for this stuff. Most of the MAGA people are not on board for the Israel project. They're not on board for Zionism. They're against the genocide, and they're against Trump and the administration and our government being cucks to the AIPAC lobby. That they are, and Benjamin Netanyahu. So that's most of the people I know, most of the MAGA people.
So can I not get away with calling him Bilbo not a Jew anymore? Is that what this bill means?
I think that's what this bill means. Well, what they would do is if they don't censor you and kick you off their like Twitter, then you're going to get a $5 million fine. That's what they want to have happen. Not you, but the social media platform. So they're trying.
Good luck collecting on that.
So the bill would mandate that social media companies work with the federal government to implement moderation policies that curb the speech of groups the government designates as terrorists. So that's all. Again, all they have to do is say they'll say you're the biggest terrorist groups in the world are environmental groups. They call it eco-terrorism.
Yeah.
So that's what they arrested the lady from Democracy Now! They said she was an eco-terrorist, right? Because she was out there protesting against the pipeline, a pipeline going through Native American land. And so they just said they're all eco-terrorists. And then they don't get any rights. You can lock them up for all you want. They don't have to do it. If they call you a terrorist, then you don't get habeas corpus. They can give you indefinite detention, meaning they don't have to charge you with a crime. That's the world we live in now. That's what indefinite detention means. They'd be required to provide regular reports to the U.S. Attorney General. Those that don't comply would be fined $5 million each day that they refuse. Bacon, the guy, what a great name for this pig. We want to be in a country that makes clear that anti-Semitism or any kind of racism is repugnant, unacceptable, not allowed in an online space, and that we have zero tolerance for it. I agree with half of it, that anti-Semitism or racism, that they are repugnant, but they shouldn't be censored.
Because space means a lot of things.
Who gets to decide? Who gets to decide what's anti-Semitic? Who gets to decide what's racist? Who gets to decide? Now, are jokes going to be censored? Again, you're going to appoint a board to decide what is. It's it's going to be the ADL or maybe Dave Portnoy. Yeah. However, other statements from the lawmakers make clear that their definition of anti-Semitism goes far beyond expression of hatred or calls for violence against Jewish people. No kidding? As Matthew Petty wrote for the libertarian magazine Reason, the specific idea that Bacon had in mind was anti-Semitism, and he made clear that it includes criticism of the state of Israel. That's anti-Semitic. So now they can censor you. At the press conference, Bacon explicitly referenced recent protests against Israel's policy of starvation in Gaza. That's the problem, not the starvation in Gaza.
Yeah.
I saw protests out here the last 2 days that were vile, right? He said they were. You can see the anti-Semitism in their comments and how they were treating some of our members of Congress who are Jewish. I saw that firsthand. So live with it.
Are you going to read the comments? No? You're just going to say you saw some comments. I'm supposed to believe you?
I think the current definition of anti-Semitism includes not having personally killed a Palestinian.
Yeah.
I haven't killed a Palestinian. Well, you're an anti-Semite. Bacon, he also suggested that merely stating opposition to pro-Israel Congress people, including himself, constitutes anti-Semitism. Do you see what's happening? This is like what the left was doing for the last 10 years on steroids. I even saw an article today was about me, but talking about we have to oppose congressmen who are pro-Zionist, right? It's all over our social media, and it's unacceptable. No, it's very acceptable.
Opposing this congressman is what made him realize he had to act immediately. Is that what he literally just said? Exact quote.
So there's going to be a list of things on the tombstone of Zionism, and one of them is going to be hyperbole, because that's what this is. When you say that criticizing someone's Israeli policy is anti-Semitic, that is unbelievable hyperbole. And
Bacon, I'm going to say way worse things about you very shortly on social media. Don't get, pace yourself getting upset.
the two congressmen were also at the forefront of calls for the U.S. government to ban TikTok, which Gautama said was being used by the Chinese Communist Party to boost anti-Israel and pro-Hamas videos in the United States. They don't want you being able to have free speech. They don't want you to be able to say what you want to say. That's all this is. This is control. These are thought crimes. You're allowed to hate shit. You can hate whatever you want. You're allowed to be a racist in America. We're going to start putting people in jail because you say they're racist? They would also have introduced legislation that would criminalize efforts to boycott Israel products. Greenblatt, who spoke alongside the two legislators on Wednesday, has explicitly said that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. No, it's not.
It explicitly is not.
It explicitly is not. Exactly right.
You know what a scumbag group, ADL, from its inception, what an evil group it is? It was to cover up for some scumbag child molester that they pretend was innocent and he was not. And that's not why it's called the Innocent. It's not called the Innocence Project. It's called anti-defamation, because they're saying this guy basically framed a lower black employee like a janitor for the crime he did. And a coalition in the deep South of black and white people hung the guy. That's back in segregation times. That's how scummy the guy. So his very rich family formed this organization, which is why we can't acknowledge the Armenian genocide to this day, because the ADL, when Abe Foxman was there, was like, he lobbied to not recognize any other Holocaust but the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the worst, most evil groups that ever existed.
Though he's faced criticism for this stance, including from members of the ADL itself, he has only continued to double down. And you can double down on comedy this Sunday at Oxnard. Come see me telling jokes in Oxnard, California, or Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. In one infamous exchange during the outbreak of pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses in 24, Greenblatt suggested that students wearing kafifas, I don't know how you say that, a kind of scarf commonly worn by Palestinians, they were doing the equivalent of wearing a swastika.
Oh, let's make laws around your Woody Allen neurosis, maniac.
Yeah, right?
You know what that means when they wear a keffiyeh.
You know, at one time, I might have told the ADL to stop doing all this, but, I've come to realize that nothing will shorten their tenure in this world faster than just letting them go right ahead and tell everyone who they really are. They're censorious, crazy, murderous, genociding fascists.
Yeah.
That's what they are. You are the fascists. There's only two kinds of people who are surrounding these people now. They're the ones who are looking for a way out of an association with them, and the ones who want to get rid of you to save their own name. You're encircled by a Shakespearean group of frenemies.
By the way, the original name of the Zionists who founded Israel, it was the Zionist Fascist Party, because they were fascists. They just dropped the fascist part later after the war, but they were called the Zionist Fascists, not just Zionists. That's the original name of the people that founded Israel, the Zionist Fascists. Katie Halper had it on.
And I wouldn't have known any of this stuff if it wasn't for how they responded to the October 7th attacks, which they enabled and financed. They certainly financed. Who's they? Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government.
Meanwhile, Greenblatt's, the good deli that I liked in L.A., closes down, and this asshole still works.
Greenblatt's closed?
Yes, COVID.
Next to the Laugh Factory?
Yes.
So what's in there now?
I don't know, nothing. That was my favorite one that was by me. I didn't like the one. Cantor stinks. Greenblatt's was so much better. Completely gone. And yet this Greenblatt still goes on.
Okay. All right. So let's go to Rumble.
Okay, hold on. let
So
me do
Steph
one
is
more
going to get all
thing.
your super chats and your Rumble rants, and we'll read them over there. So I'll see you over at Rumble, everybody. Okay, let's go. Rejuvenate Coffee is science-backed coffee. Real Arabica beans infused with calcium AKG. That's a compound shown to support cellular energy, metabolism, and even healthy aging. It's not a gimmick. It's not trendy. It's built for people who take their health seriously, who want to show up with focus and strength every single day. If you care about how you feel now and how you'll feel 10 years from now, this is your coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com/door and order Rejuvenate Coffee today. Fuel your body, protect your future. Rejuvenate. Hey, we've all been told that aging is just a natural process. Aches and pains, thinning hair, wrinkled skin, brittle nails, nothing I deal with. But what if I told you that the rate at which we age isn't just about time, it's about what we're consuming? For decades, the FDA has allowed toxic chemicals, preservatives, and artificial ingredients into our food supply, things that are being banned in other countries. These toxins disrupt our hormones, weaken our bones, accelerate aging, and wreak havoc on our skin and hair. But there's something you can do about it. One of the best ways to fight back against this damage is by giving your body the nutrients it truly needs, nutrients that the modern diet is sorely lacking. That's why I want to tell you about Revive from Brightcore Nutrition. Revive is designed to rebuild and restore your body from the inside out. It contains 5 types of collagen, hyaluronic acid, biotin, and vitamin C working together to strengthen bones and joints, rejuvenate your skin, and help grow back thicker, healthier hair. All the things that processed food and environmental toxins have been stripping away from us. It's all natural, non-GMO, and made 100% in the United States. No hidden toxins, no fillers, just pure high-quality ingredients that actually work. Today, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link below. Just use code DORE for 25% off your entire order. Or for an even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore for up to 50% off your order and free shipping. Give them a call now at 888-253-0418.